Good morning. Oh, afternoon. Almost rush hour. We're down here in Ocoee again at a doctor's office. Well, we were at the doctor's office earlier. Now we're at the after doctor therapy. My wife's in Bell's shopping. Bell's is a clothing store. Spelled Bealls. And don't pronounce it Beals because they get mad at you. Bell's, like Southern Belle. That's probably what it comes from. I'm just guessing. I'm not an ornithologist. What's that called? I'm not a wordsmith. I'm not. Back to the subject. So I was going to tell you about my dental trip yesterday. Went to the dentist. Go there twice a year. Have been. But for the 5 years I've been in Florida. And I think I was 69 when we moved here. Maybe 68. Anyway, from the very first time, the dental assistants in the dentist office I went to the first time, the dental assistant says, "You have really good teeth for your age." I go, "That old, huh?" She says, "No, it's not that you're that old." She says, "I see people here that are your age that half their teeth are gone, the other half should need to be pulled out." Wow. Oh, so thank you. So anyway, Hurricane Ian came along, and we decided to move from Venice, where that dentist was, and move inland, which is like 150 miles away, so we couldn't go to that same dentist. So we got a second dentist, and we went to him, and the dental assistant, when I first get in there, she's cleaning the teeth and looking at everything, she goes, "My God, how old are you?" She looks back at my chart, she goes, "You're 70? And I go, "Well, 71, I think." And I can't remember, I was 70 or 71. She goes, "You're amazing." Says, I've never seen somebody your age that has all your teeth. And the ones that you have are in great shape. The ones that have a few teeth, all those teeth need to go right away. I go, "Wow, yeah, well, thanks. I guess that's okay." And so anyway, we left that dentist because that was the assistant. The dental office was like a sales game. They were trying to sell you tooth guards and everything like that. And it was almost like buying a car where you go to the closing office and says, "Okay, yeah, we're going to get your car, but you need to have the underbody coating and you need to buy the extra warranty." I mean, it was like mouth guards and things that would help you sleep better and stuff. And they had payment plans. So I said, "Thank you very much." And I began to think her telling me that my teeth were in great shape was part of the sales process. But she was a dental assistant. I think she's completely avoided that. But anyway, I kept that in mind. And we got a new dentist. And so this is yesterday I went to this dentist. It'd probably be my fourth trip there. I go twice a year. So for a couple of years. And I got it. And it was a new assistant to me, dental assistant, a different one than I had last time. But this and the last one said the same thing. "Well, your teeth are really good for how old you are." They're trying to be, not say you're an old fart. That's okay. Anyway, and this one did it. She goes, "This is amazing. I've never seen anybody your age that has all your teeth, and they're all in good shape." And I said, "Well, I got a lot of fillings there." She says, "Yeah, I see that, but they're all in good shape. And fillings are done and everything like that." She says, "How did that happen?" And I go, "I don't know." I said, "Everything else about me is kind of falling apart." But I said, the thing I can attribute it to, well, there's two things I can attribute it to. One thing was I got a piece of meat or something stuck in my gum when I was about 18, and I didn't know what it was. It was just sore as hell, and I couldn't talk. And I went to a dentist, and he dug it out, and he said, "Oh, it looks like a piece of ground beef." And I said, "Oh," I pulled it out. It was just instant relief and stuff like that. He says, "Do you floss?" And I go, "Well, I've heard about it, but I don't really no." And he says, "Well, if you floss, you would have pulled it out, and it wouldn't have got that bad, and been fine." He says, "You should start flossing." So I got some floss, and I just put it in, pulled it out. This is what his assistant basically did. At least that's what I thought that day. Pulled it out, and so I started doing that. I've been doing that. Let's say that was 18. And then we moved a couple of times, and the new dentist in Washington State where we went to, every time I'd see him, he'd say, "You got to start flossing." I go, "Well, I do floss," like that. And so I went to one visit, and my wife was there. There were open cubicles next to each other with dividers. My wife was in one, and I'm in the other. And he's examining my teeth. He says, "You got to start flossing." I go, "I do floss." So, well, it doesn't look like it. And he's starting to get mad. My wife goes, "Hey, I have to pick his floss up off the floor in the bathroom every day. He flosses." And the dentist at that point gets kind of mad and he just stands up. He says, "Well, whatever you're doing, it's wrong." And his assistant, after he left, says, "How do you floss?" And I shoulder. Says, "You gotta scrape it up and down." You go, "You mean put it in your mouth and push it up and down?" Yeah. She said, "Don't you feel that when I'm doing that? When I've cleaned your teeth this couple of times?" And I said, "Well, all of you dental assistants that clean my teeth, the same thing. You get real nervous when you're in my mouth and your hands are shaking and stuff." "That's not nerves." "Why do you think it's nerves?" And I said, "Well, if I was sticking my hands in somebody's mouth, I'd be nervous as hell." She goes, "No, we're scraping it up and down." She showed me how to scrape each tooth up and down. I didn't know. It took me a while to master that, though. But after that, I quit getting cavities, and my teeth and my gums and everything were doing better. So that's the number one thing that got me on the right track. The number two thing was after I gave up being a chef in name only, I was a kitchen manager and a cook. Thank you. I don't care to be called a chef. Anyway, I guess I'm a recovering chef. They had to call me chef. They were selling catering jobs to people. They said, "Our executive chef, Bob." Anyway, when I left that job, I just wanted to get away from having to manage people. I never want to ever manage people ever again. But don't get me started on that. The job I got that was one of the best jobs I ever had was driving a shuttle van. It was a 7-passenger shuttle van. We'd pick up people at their house, take them to the airport, or when they came back, we'd take them to the airport to their house. And they'd prepay, and it'd be, everything was cool about it. It was very easy. It wasn't like driving a taxi with strangers and stuff. It was fun. Excuse me. But one thing I noticed, though, I did it for 7 years, was the old guys at the time. This was the middle 90s. Old guys at the time would be 80, so they would probably be born in 1910. All of these guys dressed up to go flying. They would wear suits and ties, and they'd have fedora-type hats and stuff like that. They'd gussied up, dressed to the hilt. Just looked great. And so I'd use that as kind of a little thing to make sure that they wouldn't hesitate to tip me. So I said, "Boy, you guys look great," or "You look great." I'd say that to each one of them. This is just one at a time. I didn't get a van full of them. But every one of them, and this is not even exaggeration, Lisa Bit, responded with, "Yeah, but I wish I would have taken care of my teeth." Every one of them. After about the 5th or 6th time that I heard that, I started thinking, maybe I should carry floss in the van with me and floss between runs. And that got me to floss even more. So those are the 2 reasons that my teeth are great. And the dental assistants love me and appreciate me and laugh at my jokes, which is a lot more I can say for many people that don't understand that a comedian has to suffer for his art. That sounds good. Okay, that's my dentist story. And brush them if you got them. Teeth, that is.